So I don't think optimism is a Stoic principle, but I do think focusing on what uh, is on the positive side of the ledger um, is a great tool in instructing me on what is under my control. Very simply put, um, positive thinking in and of itself, head game, bullshit. However, um, doing an honest assessment of, for example, the receivables and knowing from the receivables who I can pay when and feeling better about knowing that there's light at the end of that tunnel is a wise thing. And there's kind of three silos of stress that I have. Of course, there is my marriage, which uh, is my doing. You know, I have a very stressed out wife. There is my money, which is stressing my wife out. And then there's like this whole to-do list, you know, so many things to follow up on, which is a challenge for anybody with ADHD, but you still have to do the things. And doing the difficult things, you know, eating the frog first, that's only, I think, the tip of the iceberg. I think just focusing on what is on my to-do list and attacking it like it'll affect the rest is the way. That is the way. So some of these things on the to-do list, you know, I'm not particularly excited about doing. I got to call Sam back. I had a former quasi-client call me yesterday, and I'd fired him. He, years ago, was getting a lot of pushback from the local community because he was expanding a children's hospital. Can you believe that? The people in the neighborhood didn't want the children's hospital to be expanded. And I went to some of the public hearings and I spoke in support of the children's hospital, because why wouldn't you? Right? The only arguments against it were NIMBY bullshit. So the owner of the hospital greatly appreciated it and started asking me to look into properties for him and so forth, which I did very enthusiastically. And then I found out that he bought a commercial parcel right down the road from my office without me. And I'm like, why am I doing all this work if you're not even going to, if you're just going to use other brokers? So he resurfaced yesterday, and I guess the work at the hospital is done, and he wanted to show it to me. And now he's thinking about selling that parcel, and maybe I could give him some ideas. So, interestingly, I stood up for myself in that instance years ago, and I think perhaps he respected it. This is a multi-detailed thing that I got to follow up on, for example, all right? I got recruits I got to follow up on. I have my own business I have to follow up on. And I can get sidetracked from those things, and at the end of the day, as if it were like a little lifetime, have regret. So my focus today is going to be on attacking what I can control and being with it. Being with the recruiting. Being with, for its own sake. Not worrying about what's coming back, not worrying about the end result. Just being with doing my job and trusting the process. A lot of rambling, but that's where we are. Amar Fati.